All right, I'm gonna start right here. It says the United States Senate is set to vote this week on a bill that would categorize the entire USA as a battlefield, allowing law enforcement duties to be dished out by the American military. Right, so we living in a police state, man. The military and all the special police, secret police organizations is involved right here in America, man. Watching you people, locking you people up, giving people no due process, man. That's the sign of the police state, who in turn could detain any U.S. citizen as a war criminal, even coming into their own homes to issue arrests. It says the National Defense Authorization Act regularly comes before Congress for changes and additions, but the latest provision S 1867, which is Senate Bill 1867, proves to be the most powerful one yet in wrapping constitutional freedoms from Americans. Suck it. And that's what happened. Okay, it says, moreover, Patriot Act should, Patriot Act. It says, should Senate Bill 1867 pass, lawmakers could conjure the text to keep even regular citizens detained indefinitely by their own military. And they did pass the bill, man. That was in 2013. It says, Senator Lindsey Graham, RSC, a reporter of the bill, has explicitly stated that the passing of Senate Bill 1867 would basically say in law for the first time that the homeland is part of the battlefield. So if the homeland is part of the battlefield, that means you people are the enemies of the federal government.
So in summary here, 1032, the military custody provision, which has waivers and a lot of flexibility, doesn't apply to American citizens. 1031, the statement of authority to detain, does apply to American citizens, and it designates the world as the battlefield, including the homeland. Are you familiar with the Padilla case? That is a federal court case involving an American citizen captured in the United States that was held for several years as an enemy combatant. His case went to the Fourth Circuit. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals said an American citizen can be held by our military as an enemy combatant, even if they're caught here in the United States, because once you join the enemy forces, then you present a military threat, and your citizenship is not a sort of a get-out-of-jail-free card. That the law of the land is an American citizen can be held as an enemy combatant. That went to the Fourth Circuit, and that, as I speak, is the law of the land.
And could lead to the detention of citizens without charge or trial, writes Chris Anders of the American Civil Liberties Union, Washington office. Right, man. So I'm finna bring in this scripture real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. And this is grievous, man. Declaring the people, which really they're trying to come down on Israel. But that right grievousness which they have prescribed, because this new world order consists of keeping the Israelites down and taking away our freedom, because everything is really about us, man. The least really trying to take control of us and wipe us out, man. Not only the other nations, but they really aiming to get at us, man. Because they know that they have but a short time, man. So they're trying to hurry up and, wrap this shit up. It says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people. There you go. We have a right to be free. We have a right to not be looked at as terrorists, as enemy combatants, and to be persecuted. Why? Because our power is Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, man. It says that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's exactly what Esau is doing, man. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from afar? To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? Right, man, because ultimately America's going to be destroyed. The rights and stuff they're taking from the people is really being taken from the Israelites to enslave us, man, because that's what this whole thing is about. All right. Okay. It says the inhabitants of a police state may experience restrictions on their mobility or on their freedom to express or communicate political or other views, which are subject to police, and that's how you know you're living in a police state, man, because you're being oppressed, which are subject to police monitoring or enforcement. Political control may be exerted by means of a secret police force, which operates outside the boundaries normally imposed by a constitutional state. Right? So they taking away the Constitution, man. That's how you know it's becoming a police state. It says Robert von Moll, who first introduced the rule of law to German jurisprudence, contrasts the Reichsstaat legal or constitutional state with an anti-aristocratic police state, which is a police state. Man. All right, let's grab this next scripture. Slacker. This is Luke chapter 18, verse 7. Oh, no, sorry. This is Luke chapter 8, verse 17. Oh, nope, I'm sorry, verse 16. It says, no man, when he hath lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel, or putteth it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick, that they which enter in may see the light. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Right, so the Lord bringing out this information and raising up his prophets, which is the men of GMS, and you got other groups out there that's doing the truth and sincerity. Uh, Basically, the Lord just waking us up to have us bring out this truth to you people, man. It says, take heed therefore how ye hear. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken even that which he seemeth to have. Right, so man, we're supposed to give out this information so the Lord can increase us. And those who had this information will put the truth down and turn it back on Yahweh Shai, the Lord taking away from them, man. So it's imperative that we bring out this information, man. Because America is becoming a police state. Slowly but surely. The elites operate under a term called gradualism, man. These so-called terrorist attacks that they've been having, it was them gradually, helping them gradually bring in this police state. The news articles and about terrorists being in the USA is gradually helping them bring in this police state, which is in turn helping bring in the New World Order, man. That's why the title of this lesson is going to be the New World Order Police State. And there's many other things that they are doing to help bring in this so-called New World Order, man. All right, it says, okay, it says, history of the usage. It says the Oxford English Dictionary traces the phrase police state back to 1851 when it was used in reference to the use of a national police force to maintain order in Austria. It says the German term Polizstat came in English usage in the 1930s with reference to a totalitarian government that had began to emerge in Europe. It says, right, and it was just giving the history on when it came about, man. And also, just want to bring another little article real quick. Right here. Because because this is part of the history of this police state, man. This is police militarization began with 1980s war on drugs. It says as the line between civilian police officer and military soldier has become more blurred, in which all that's talking about is when they started to militarize the police force. That's why they got MRAPs and shit too. It said it has also become difficult to determine how it happened and when the use of paramilitary force on the city streets is necessary. It says training and armament of police forces increased in the aftermath of the September 11, 2001 attacks, see, on the World Trade Center, but it took root far before that, right? It says the use of special weapons and tactics SWAT teams goes back nearly 50 years. It says most experts attribute the creation of such a unit to the Los Angeles Police Department around 1966 under the direction of Inspector Daryl Gates, who became chief of police in 1978. Gates was still chief when LAPD officers brutally beat Rodney King in 1991. It says in the 20 years since the LAPD popularized the use of SWAT teams, the use of SWAT teams, the idea spread nationwide, but such forces will still use sparingly. Right, and that goes back to the Isaiah 10 that I read, man, because the only reason why they credit that is because Reagan implemented the drugs, man. Them drugs came in around what the 70s, 80s, and they created this police force because they knew that shit was coming, and they did that to persecute who? The poor, man.